Just a lot of shock, a lot of sadness, a lot of disbelief, hoping that some of what you were hearing wasn't true.
The Bourbon County community is remembering a 13-year-old killed in a crash while also rallying around her mother, who remains in critical condition. We'll have more on that coming up.
A central Kentucky community remembers a cyclist hit and killed during a 100-mile ride.
They was nice and kind and lovable. My mom and dad loved kids. James did too.
An early morning fire in Wayne County kills a husband, a wife, and their son.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Teens at a Central Kentucky middle school are remembering a friend tonight. Thanks for watching WKYT. I'm Kristen Kennedy. 13-year-old Emily Sands died in a crash yesterday in Scott County. Police say Sands and her parents were on their way to a volleyball tournament when another car hit them. Sands died in the wreck, and emergency crews rushed both her parents to the hospital. WKYT's Hillary Thornton is in Bourbon County talking to people who knew Sands. She has our top story. Later today, the Bourbon County community plans to come together here at the middle school to remember 8th grader Emily Sands, while also rallying around her family as her mother, who works here in the school system, remains in critical condition.
Beautiful on the inside and out. She was just a model student. A lot of times there's drama with girls in the 8th grade. You know, that's just part of growing up. Not with Emily. She just didn't say bad things about people. She didn't treat people wrong. She just was smiling all the time.
Middle school principal Travis Earlywine remembers his student for her positive impact on those around her and her dreams of playing Division I volleyball, a dream supported by her biggest fans, her family. So he says it is no surprise they were heading to a tournament this weekend.
Just a lot of shock, a lot of sadness, a lot of disbelief, hoping that some of what you were hearing wasn't true.
Soon learning her mother, Shella, was rushed to UK Hospital in critical condition, a longtime member of the Bourbon County school system, starting all the way back as a graduate, then as a teacher, and now as the special education director.
Shella, she's still fighting, and she's a fighter. She's a tough. She was an athlete herself growing up, and she's a pretty tough lady.
Tonight, the entire Colonel community will come together, leaning on each other as they lift up a family they say is one of the best you will ever find.
They don't say bad things about people, and people don't say bad things about them. They just treat people the way they want to be treated, and everybody loves them.
Tonight's candlelight vigil is open to the public, and school officials say they plan to get things started at 8 o'clock in the middle school gym. In Bourbon County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT. Emergency crews treated the two people in the other car for minor injuries. Investigators believe their car ran off the road and then the driver overcorrected, hitting the Sams family pickup. Police have not yet said if they plan to file charges against the driver. Cyclists are paying tribute tonight to one of their own who was less than 1 mile from completing a 100-mile bike ride when he died. Mark Hinkle was hit and killed during the Horsey 100 in Georgetown yesterday. Police say the driver crossed the center line and hit him head-on. WKYT's Sam Smith is in Georgetown talking to cyclists who are remembering their friend.
Around 2 o'clock, before everyone participating in the Horsey 100 said their goodbyes, they took some time out to pay tribute to Mark Hinkle. Hinkle was on mile 99 of the 100-mile ride before he was hit by a car. Police say the driver crossed the center line, overcorrected, hit Hinkle, and then fled the scene. The driver was arrested and charged with murder, wanton endangerment, and leaving the scene of an accident. A roadside memorial is now sitting along Lemons Mill Road where it happened. I'm told some cyclists today stopped at the site to say a prayer before continuing on with their ride. At the goodbye ceremony this afternoon, there was a moment of silence in his memory.
Mark was a really, really nice, really giving man who loved his bike, loved his family more than anything. Just a great guy.
This was the first fatality in the event's nearly 40-year history. In Georgetown, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Police say the driver, Odilon Paz Salvador, was under the influence at the time of the crash. New tonight, state police in Richmond have released the name of the woman killed in a crash on I-75. Police say a van was traveling northbound on the interstate yesterday when the driver ran off the road into an embankment and then flipped.
The impact of the crash ejected the passenger, 54-year-old Patricia Hobson from Irvine. Hobson died. Emergency crews took the driver to UK hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Firefighters in southern Kentucky are trying to figure out what started a fire that killed 3 people. The fire broke out at a mobile home on Ridgewood Avenue in Monticello around 4:15 this morning. A husband, wife, and son were all inside at the time and didn't make it out. WKYT's Sean Moody is talking to family about the loss.
Family members tell me that people hadn't lived here long. That fire killed a husband, a wife, and their son.
All kinds of memories.
Mary Bell said she heard her parents' home off Ridgewood Avenue was burning around 3:30 this morning.
I got a phone call about 3:30 to get over here.
Inside were her parents, Hobart and Laureen Piercy, and her brother James. None of them made it out. The Wayne County coroner said they appeared to have died from smoke inhalation.
They was nice and kind, lovable. My mom and dad loved kids. James did too.
State police arson investigators spent the morning looking through what was left of the home. Mary and her family members were still trying to take in what had happened.
It's hard. Really hard.
Kentucky State Police are still in the very early stages of this investigation. They're still looking into exactly what caused the fire. In Wayne County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
The coroner says the preliminary investigation doesn't indicate foul play. A Moorhead family is staying somewhere new tonight after a fire destroyed their home. A viewer sent us this photo of the house in the Forest Hills neighborhood. According to the Moorhead News, the fire ripped through the house after all 4 members of the family got out safely. A Montgomery County man is in jail tonight accused of threatening to kill someone. Deputies arrested 18-year-old Austin Russell Saturday in Franklin County. The sheriff's office says Russell sent several text messages to friends saying he was going to rob a bank in Montgomery County and that he was going to kill somebody. We're told the messages had specific times listed for his threats. He is charged with solicitation to commit robbery and murder. We've had a beautiful last 2 days to this Memorial Day weekend, but it looks like rain's creeping into the forecast. WKYT's Mike Linden is tracking storm chances on the First Alert Defender.
That's right, Kristen. It looks like rain will creep back into the bluegrass, but not until tomorrow afternoon. For right now, it doesn't get any better than this. Big Blue Nation shining bright right now here to close out the unofficial start to the summer season. The live sky camera over Lexington, absolutely beautiful as we work our way through the evening hours. And if you're a fan of weather like this, well, this is what you want to see on Live First Alert Defender. That radar sweeping, but not finding anything. Now, 24 hours from now, it will look a lot different on this map, but let's just focus on right now because it is oh so good out there in the lower 80s. Now, this is a good 10 or so degrees warmer than where we should be normally for this time of year, and that dry air has made things feel wonderful. If it were for some humidity, it might feel a bit more oppressive outside, but right now, just wonderful as we're peaking in the low 80s, much warmer than where we were even yesterday as well. But the focus of the forecast that I'll have for you in a couple of minutes are the storm chances. So if you've had the chance to enjoy the beautiful weather this weekend, well, that's great. But there are about to be some big changes on the way that look to arrive as early as Memorial Day afternoon. And Kristen, it doesn't really look like they're going much of anywhere. I'll have the full forecast coming up.
Mike, thank you. A Lexington company called Emergency Disaster Services is suing Morgan County, the eastern Kentucky county a tornado hit 3 years ago. Emergency Disaster Services wants nearly $1 million from the county, saying they rented trailers, generators, and other equipment and never paid for it. Morgan County city leaders say the final bill should be less than what EDS is asking. We have an update for you tonight regarding rezoning for Fayette County Public Schools. The Fayette County School Board will vote whether to accept the committee's plan for rezoning in just a couple of weeks. If the proposal is accepted, there will be several changes impacting thousands of families in Lexington. Old Bridge will be included with the rest of the Palomar neighborhood, sending students to Rosa Parks Elementary starting in 2016. Hunting Hills and Squire Oaks will move to Tates Creek Middle and High Schools. 7 parks will be assigned to Picadome Elementary. Copperfield, Plantation, and Clemens Heights are assigned to Jesse Clark Middle. Our news partner at the Herald Leader reports more than 1,600 students will move to new schools. The plan will grandfather in students going into grades 5, 8, 11, and 12 when the new zones take effect. and students going into 10th grade if they're switching to the new high school. The board will hold a final input session starting at 5:30 Wednesday, June 3rd, and vote on the proposal after that meeting. Tomorrow marks 2 years since a Bardstown police officer died in the line of duty, and the person responsible is still on the run. Police say someone gunned down Officer Jason Ellis on an exit ramp of the Bluegrass Parkway back in 2012. Friday, Kentucky State Police released a video of Ellis's wife, Amy, asking anyone with information to come forward.
Do not hide in the dark shadows any longer. Have the courage to help end this horror and show that justice can prevail.
State police say the reward is now up to $185,000 for information that can lead to an arrest and a conviction. Still to come on WKYT, the softball Wildcats are back in Gainesville, Florida. We'll show you how they wrapped up their season. That's coming up.